Hey everyone, welcome to the Edward Jones Chatting Cage. I'm Alexa Dat, and this is one of my favorite shows because you, the fan, get to be involved in this show. You get to ask the questions to today's special guest, Twins pitcher Kyle Gibson. He's going to join us in just a little bit, but first let me go over the rules of how you ask your questions. So you can click the green button below to sign in or sign up. That way you can get some FaceTime with Kyle, or if you prefer not to, all you have to do is write out your question on Twitter using the hashtag Chatting Cage so we can see your question and make sure we get it into our queue. All right, without further ado, let's go ahead and welcome Kyle to the show. Kyle, how's it going? Thanks for joining us here on the Edward Jones Chatting Cage.
Yeah, how are you guys doing today?
Yeah, we're doing well. Kyle, I want to hop right into it because we have Ryan D94, who is a big Twins fan, and he was watching you guys last year in the postseason. He said you played in that wild card game, you know, obviously not the result that you wanted, but what can you learn from a playoff loss, he wants to know.
You know what? I think just being in the environment, being in Yankee Stadium during the playoffs, you know, that environment was just something that you can't replicate. And I wasn't even active for the game, but some of the most excitement and fun first couple innings for sure. The last couple innings got a little rough, but you know, those first couple innings were some of the most fun baseball I've been around, and I think it's the excitement and the atmosphere that you're going to remember, and it makes you want to fight even more to get back.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's created some great atmospheres this season. A lot of the fans have been talking about that on Twitter, and we have Elizabeth Levine who writes in, you specifically have had a great start to the season. Your slider's been great in particular. What's the key for you on that pitch?
You know, I found something about halfway through the year last year on my fastball, actually. And I feel like my fastball command and fastball usage has made my off speed a little bit better. So, you know, yesterday in particular, I would say it was probably my glove side fastball, going into lefties and away to righties. It just sets that pitch up so much better. And you know, you'll probably notice that when my fastball's not in the zone as much and as consistently, that slider's not going to be as effective.
So as we keep going here, talking about that pitch specifically, Paul wants to know, did you work on it this offseason in particular? Is there something you changed about it? What have you worked on that's worked so well this year?
Yeah, I haven't had to change anything. You know, before the 2017 season, I did a different throwing program to start the year, and I think it kind of raised my arm slot just a little bit, just trying to keep my arm a little bit healthy and avoid the shoulder strain that I had in 2016. And I think as a part of that, it made some of the break, you know, going down on all of my pitches just a little bit better. And still throwing the same grip and still throwing it the same way. But, you know, I think whether it was just, you know, my body being a little bit more efficient, you know, getting a little bit more, I don't want to necessarily call it extension, but, you know, just getting a little bit in a better spot or release allows me for a little bit more consistent release. And then, you know, if my fastball's in the zone, that just makes everything better.
Sounds good. Kyle, we got a fan who wants to ask you a question as we have them lining up here in the Edward Jones Chatting Cage. What's your name and what's your question for Kyle?
Hi, Kyle. My name is Ryan. I was just wondering what the biggest highlight of your career has been so far up to this point.
Yeah, you know, probably a couple. I think, you know, my debut always sticks out. You know, that's kind of a popular one for players. You know, I'd say my debut, my first hit in Milwaukee against Matt Garza was a fun one. But one that I really like as well is my first complete game in Atlanta. You know, as a starting pitcher, you're always dreaming about being able to go 9 innings, and I actually had an 8-inning complete game here in Kansas City, but was on the losing end. So to be able to do that on the winning end of one, you know, last year was a lot of fun. No, 2 years ago, excuse me, a lot of fun in Atlanta.
Hey, speaking of early in your career, that leads us to our EDJ question of the day. What do you remember on the night the Twins drafted you back in 2009?
You know, that was kind of a crazy day for me. I had a stress fracture on my arm going into the draft and really didn't know what to expect. And come to find out, the Twins had really only seen me pitch twice before the draft, and one time I gave up 9 runs against Oklahoma State. So I don't know that I was really a candidate for them to draft. But you know, I got the phone call and was picked 22nd, and you know, had a lot of people over at the house and really enjoyed the moment and had a chance to soak it all in and knew a lot of good things about the Twins. So I was eager to get started.
Yeah, absolutely. We have the draft coming up in less than a week. What sort of advice would you give for, you know, players who are waiting to have their names called?
Yeah, I mean, I think it can go, you know, both ways sometimes for kids. You know, you think you're going to be drafted really high and your name kind of falls a little bit. So, you know, I would tell those kids to just enjoy the moment. You know, understand that you're going to be put with a club for a reason, and you know, take advantage of the club that you're put with, and use the resources they have, and you know, just be eager to get going. You know, I think sometimes when you're taken later than you feel like you should have been, you can have some extra motivation to get back at teams or whatever. But I've kind of found that can sometimes lead to empty motivation. So no matter where you're picked, enjoy the moment, enjoy the opportunity that you're going to get, and just work hard and try to make the dreams come true.
Great advice for future players out there. All right, we have a fan, Lou, who's joining us here on the Edward Jones Chatting Cage. Hey, Lou, what's your question for Kyle?
Hey there, madam. Thank you so much. And Mr. Kyle Gibson, how's it going, sir? What an honor.
Hey, how are you doing today?
This is. My question for you, and you're very welcome, is that the team, with the pushing and guidance from Mr. Molitor, and he's done a wonderful job, you guys had 85 victories last year. Do you think you can make it to 95 victories and go further in the postseason?
Yeah, I think so. We have a lot of the same guys from last year and actually added some starting depth. So I think we have the team and the offense that can do it. Early on, we've just kind of been in a little bit of a rut and lost a few close games. And even when we've played poorly, we've been in a lot of the games that we've lost. So, I think as a team unit, we feel really confident in the guys we have. And we know once our offense really starts clicking, we've got the chance to rattle off 9 or 10 in a row. So, we've been throwing the ball a little bit better, and the bats have been a little bit better as well. So, we're kind of waiting for everything to come together. And yeah, we feel really confident that we can keep competing with Cleveland in this division and win the division and then make a run in the playoffs.
We have Twitter questions pouring in, and all the fans are using the hashtag Chatting Cage. Macy Whitfield says, how tough has it been not having Irv Santanas in that rotation?
Yeah, that's been tough. Irv is as much of a leader, on as he is off the field. And, getting to see him, day in and day out put the work in, I've learned a lot from him as a professional. And, not having him as a mainstay in the rotation has been tough. A guy like Fernando Romero's stepped in and done a really good job, and Jose Barrios is throwing the ball really well also. So, we're excited to get Irvin back, that's for sure. Just, his presence in the clubhouse, his presence on the mound gives this team a boost for sure.
Here in the Edward Jones Chatting Cage, talking to Twins pitcher Kyle Gibson. Kyle, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about your teammates. Keith Lehman on Twitter asks, what it's like working with Lance Lynn and Jake Odorizzi?
Two completely different players to work with. You got opposite ends of the spectrum there. You got Jake, who's a little bit quieter, subtle sense of humor, and then you have Lance, who's a little bit louder and a pretty dry, pretty obvious sense of humor. So it's fun to be able to sit in the dugout with both those guys and enjoy some laughs on a daily basis. From what I've heard, Lance has really come out of his shell this year, coming from Zach Duke. So we're getting to experience the best Lance, and it's been a lot of fun, watching some of the stuff that he's been pulling around the locker room and around the clubhouse.
All right, so speaking of that, Vikings fan 18 says, who's the clubhouse comedian on the team?
We got a couple. I think Lance definitely fits that category. Logan Morrison fits it. I think Brian Dozier and Escobar, both of those guys go back and forth quite a bit. So we got a pretty good mix of lighthearted guys that like to have fun. And, sometimes when you're going through a rut, that's what you need most is a couple guys to keep it light and, keep everybody playing free and loose.
You like to have some fun in that clubhouse. I heard you lost a bet to Taylor Rogers over a Mizzou, Kentucky baseball game. What happened?
Yeah, that's a tough one. Former Missouri Tiger here, and Taylor went to Kentucky, and they matched up a few weeks ago in a weekend series, and we just put a couple day game coffees on the line. Unfortunately, the Tigers dropped a couple close ones, and that next week and a half I had to pay up with a little bit of Starbucks coffee. So a lot of good things came out of it, though. Caribou Coffee stepped up and sent me and Raj a really nice care package as well. So we're going to start enjoying some Caribou Coffee as well there in the Twin Cities, and maybe the gift card they sent, I'll bring a couple coffees for the bullpen next time they go out there. So it's been a pretty cool series of events come up after that.
Hey, listen, Kyle, you can do it all. I'm impressed. I like it. All right, we got a fan joining the show here. What's your name and what's your question for our barista, Kyle Gibson?
Kyle, what's going on? I'm West. I'm actually from Columbia, Missouri. Not too far
let me hear an MIZ then.
MIZZOU, babe.
Yeah, that's right.
I got a question for you. I got to know your favorite spot in Columbia. What's your go-to?
Ooh, wow. I was a big fan of Shakespeare's Pizza, which probably won't come to a surprise. I'm probably known around the clubhouse for my pizza, being able to find good pizza spots and good sushi spots. Although I steal most of my sushi spots from Kurt Suzuki, but the pizza is probably one of my favorite foods. So I got to go with Shakespeare's. sometimes after late games, you can go with Pickleman's and get one of their pepperoni pizzas as well. But I always have to say Shakespeare's is one that never fails.
So I was going to ask, is that the topping, pepperoni on the pizza? Anything else go on the pizza?
Yeah, I'm pretty simple. It's pepperoni and sausage, and that's about all I need.
I'm a pepperoni pineapple girl. I know a lot of people are anti that, but you got to mix it in every once in a while.
A little bit of Hawaiian isn't bad.
Hey,
a little bit of
listen.
Hawaiian pizza is not bad.
A little bit of a change every once in a while. You're right about that. We got a question for you here in the Edward Jones chatting cage on Twitter from Jay Marquez. Hey, he said you missed being teammates with Max Scherzer during your time at Mizzou. Have you guys ever gotten to meet and talk shop?
Yeah, I did. I did miss Max by a year. He came back a couple years after he was drafted, and I got to play catch with him a little bit. Met him, I think, at one of the camps, and then actually played a little bit of fantasy football with him a couple years back. So haven't really had the chance to sit down and talk to him, but just getting a chance to kind of look back over what he did at Mizzou and talk to the pitching coach Tony Vitello while I was there, and Coach Jameson there at Missouri, and learn from his past legacy, and then also just kind of watch him go through his pro career. Played against him a couple times while he was in Detroit, so it's always been a joy to watch him do it, and really happy for all the success he's had. He's probably the best pitcher in the game, and it's a lot of fun to see another Missouri guy doing that.
All right, so I got to ask, who was better in your fantasy league?
That's a good question. I think 1 year he got me and 1 year I got him. We did it a little bit different. We did a fire league where you just, you almost drafted your own team, kind of like DraftKings every week. You got a certain number of exchanges, and then you just see who scored the most points. So I definitely got him 1 year. I think I won it 1 year, and then he might have won it the other year. So he definitely holds his own in fantasy football.
All right, bragging rights all around. Nice to see. Here in the Edward Jones chatting cage, Kyle, we got one more question for you. This is from Tori Jarrett. If you weren't playing baseball professionally, what would you be doing for your career?
Wow. Well, I studied sports broadcasting and communication there at Missouri, so probably something involved in sports, doing some type of play-by-play or something like you're doing right now. If not that, then I wouldn't mind playing a little bit of golf. I like to play golf in my free time. I don't know that I'm good enough to be anywhere near a mini tour or a PGA tour, but wouldn't mind taking the hobby and doing a little bit more.
Hey, listen, Kyle, you can come have my job anytime you want, because then I can go play golf, and then everyone's happy. How's that sound?
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Kyle, thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations, and good luck this season.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Take care. All right, that's going to do it here on the Edward Jones chatting cage. Thank you so much to all the fans who submitted some amazing questions. We got Edward Jones chatting cages coming up all season long, so make sure you join us. Until then, Alexa Dat here in studio.